Hello, greetings from the Village of Holly. My name is Jerry Walker, and I'm the village manager for the Village of Holly. And so very happy to be here today. So 2020 was a very unusual year for many communities, and Holly was no different. Through the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw struggles with our businesses as they continued to fight to stay open and to provide the service that the people have come to expect. But we were very fortunate in the fact that only one business closed during that time, but it was immediately replaced. So we moved from 2020 looking forward to 2021, where we see a bright horizon and very exciting in many ways in the community. So as we look for the economy to rebound and for our businesses to move forward, we have really three distinct visions or projects in the future. Actually, just at last night's Village Council meeting, the Village Council approved the creation of a social district. And if you're not familiar with a social district, really what it is it is an area to where restaurants and bars that sell alcohol, so they're licensed establishments, they can sell a dinner along with alcohol, and then persons can leave that restaurant, which is particularly important during this carryout period where there's no indoor dining, and they can go to a social zone or a consumption area in which they can have alcohol with their food. And so that's a choice that many people like to make. We think it's a great option for the Village of Holly. We have an area that is built just for that, and that would be in our Battle Alley Historic District. And so if you've been to Holly, you might recall Battle Alley. If you have not been to Holly, I invite you to come and experience that social district to where you can come enjoy the backdrop of 150-year-old historic buildings, quaintness, enjoy the railroads, which are in close proximity, and have a nice meal. So we also think that this area, besides providing an area that will draw people, we think it's going to draw new business, which of course then will lead to new jobs. And so that's one very exciting prospect that we're looking forward to as we move into 2021 and continue. Another area that we are seeing some enhanced growth and development is in the Grange Hall and North Holly Road corridors. And so both those corridors actually lead to and or are connectors to our major expressways, being I-75 and US 23. And so we connect those major thoroughfares through those corridors, and we have quite a bit of vacant land in those areas right now, and we have some very high interest in developing those areas. So we see increased development coming in those areas, and again, that's increased services for the residents or for those that are passing through the Village of Holly, whether they're heading out to the expressways or going to their homes in Fenton or Grand Blanc. But also we see the creation of new jobs and increased tax base in those areas. So that's the second project that we're looking forward to in 2021. And finally, number 3, if you know anything about Holly at all, you know history. And history is very important to us. While a lot of communities have decided to modernize and take down some of their history, Holly is just the opposite. So we cherish our history. We know that it's an important part of the community, and it's important to community leaders. And so we look towards historic preservation. And I spoke about that just a minute ago with Battle Alley. I talk about that now in relation to the historic Holly Union Railroad Depot. And so railroads are very important in the history of the Village of Holly. In fact, the truth is Holly probably would not be there if not for the railroads. So we have 2 major railroads that cross through Holly. Of course, what goes with the railroads is the depot. And so we have a very historic depot in the village. The current location of the depot makes it not user-friendly. And so we are in the midst of a depot relocation project. And so we are going to move that depot to an area off Broad Street, right across from one of our famous landmarks, the Holly Hotel. And so we want to put that depot back into action, not only, of course, not serving railroad customers, but serving the public. And so we look at this as a way to preserve history, to save what's really important to us, but also we think that we can put that building back into function as part of the downtown. And so there are many uses for that building as we go forward. And so that depot is about a $1.8 million relocation and restoration project. We enjoy huge community support on that. And so we look forward to doing that. So as I close today, I'd like you just to think of Holly and think about history. And if you haven't been there recently, you need to come. We have adopted a new tagline in the last couple of years, and that is timeless appeal and hometown feel. So when you think of Holly, think of that hometown feel and come join us.